Let's talk about negotiation. Most of us, we kind of dread it, right? We've been taught to see it as a fight. But here's the thing, that's just plain wrong.
The big misconception is that it's a zero-sum battle, a war where for you to win, someone else has to lose. And that right there, that's the very first mistake.
We have this image in our heads, the loudest, most aggressive person at the table is the one who walks away with the prize. That is a complete myth, and believing it is costing you big time.
So what happens? You go in there and you push way too hard. You treat it like a battle. And the second you do that, boom, the other side's walls shoot straight up. Their logical brain just checks out.
Or you do the complete opposite. You hate conflict, so you just fold. You give up valuable ground before the conversation has even really begun. Look, it doesn't matter which path you take, pushing or folding, you've already lost. So if that's how you lose, how do you win? Well, you do it by learning from the highest stakes negotiations on the planet, hostage situations. And the first insight from that world, it's going to change everything you think you know.
See, we're all trained to lead with logic, right? We come in with our facts, our figures, our beautifully reasoned arguments. But that's not how the human brain is wired at all. People decide with emotion. Logic? That's just the story they tell themselves afterwards to justify what their gut already screamed at them to do.
This applies everywhere. Asking for that raise, closing a huge business deal, buying a car, even just arguing at home. If the person across from you feels unheard or pressured or disrespected, their ability to even hear your logical points just nosedives. Your perfect argument, it's completely worthless. So what's the solution? It's a tool the FBI uses called tactical empathy. And let's be crystal clear about what this is. This is not about being nice. It's not about agreeing with them. It's about understanding their perspective so deeply that you can actually put it into words for them. And when you do that, it's a massive power shift. The moment someone feels truly understood, their defensiveness just melts away. They become open to your influence. And it's not manipulation. It's just that you've removed all the emotional static from the line.
Okay, so once you've laid that foundation of tactical empathy, you can actually start to control the emotional temperature of the room. And that brings us to our second huge insight: how to use silence and what are called labels.
Silence. It's one of your most powerful allies, but for most people, it's terrifying. Think about it. You state your price or you make your offer, and then nothing. That silence feels like a giant gaping void. And what does the amateur negotiator do? They panic and they fill it by talking, and they end up negotiating against themselves. It is a really, really costly mistake. So let's play this out. You state your price, and the other person hits you with the classic, "That price is impossible." Your gut reaction, your instinct is to jump in and defend yourself, right? To argue about the value. You have to resist that urge. The much, much stronger move is to do something called mirroring. All you do is repeat the last few words they said, but as a calm, curious question, like this. Too expensive? That's it. This incredibly simple move prompts them to start explaining why it's impossible. And in doing so, they hand you a treasure trove of information. This goes hand in hand with another technique called labeling. Instead of fighting the emotion in the room, you just name it. You say something like, "It sounds like the budget is a major concern here." By just verbalizing what they're feeling, you validate it, and that instantly de-escalates the tension and gets them to open up even more. All right, now we're going to get to maybe the most controversial idea in the entire book. It's one that challenges a belief that's been drilled into us since we were kids. The idea that compromise is always a good thing. We're all taught that meeting in the middle is the fair, noble thing to do. But Chris Voss argues that most of the time, it's just lazy. Splitting the difference feels like a win only because it makes the uncomfortable tension go away. But it almost never actually solves the underlying problem. And that's the absolute core of it. All you did was solve the tension, not the problem. You've accepted a weaker deal for everybody just to avoid a few more minutes of feeling uncomfortable. A really skilled negotiator knows there's almost always a better answer out there than just splitting it down the middle. So instead of compromising, you use what are called calibrated questions. These are open-ended questions designed to make the other person solve your problem. Asking a simple, calm question like, "How am I supposed to do that?" It's brilliant. It shifts the burden of the problem over to their side of the table, but without being aggressive at all. Here's another one. It's a game changer. What about this is important to you? See, this question gets you past their position, what they say they want, and down to their real interest, why they want it. And that why? That's where the real magic happens in a negotiation.
Or how about this one? How do we know your team is on board? This kind of question forces them to think about actually implementing the deal. It can uncover landmines they haven't even thought about yet. It shifts the whole conversation from what we're agreeing to how we're going to make it happen. And that's where deals are truly made or broken.
Okay, let's pull all of this together. Let's synthesize these tactics into a simple, actionable playbook you can use. Because this isn't just a handful of tricks, it's a complete mindset shift for how you approach any difficult conversation.
So step 1, you've got to reframe the whole thing. It is not a battle, it's a process of discovery. Step 2, listening is now your primary weapon. You're going to use silence and labels to gather intelligence. And step 3, you are going to stop rushing to compromise. Instead, you'll ask smart questions that get the other side to help you find a better way.
You know, when you really master these tools, your entire posture changes. You stop just reacting to what they say, and you start guiding the conversation. You're no longer hoping for a good outcome. You are methodically creating the conditions for one. You're replacing that feeling of anxiety with cold, hard strategy.
And that right there is the ultimate lesson. Success in negotiation has nothing to do with being the loudest voice in the room. It has everything to do with being the most disciplined listener. It's not about applying pressure, it's about building influence. And that is how you turn conflict into collaboration.